Howdy everyone, and welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be working on implementing a dungeon with some enemies and some traps, because I think that's going to be the core of the gameplay. So I've been thinking about what exactly do I want this game to be, and I'm thinking you go out, and this is going to be very heavily inspired by Azure Dreams. You'll go out into this dungeon, and it'll be different dungeons. There'll be like a your standard underground dungeon, maybe a forest dungeon. There'll be several different dungeons that you can go out to explore. It'll be procedurally generated. You'll go out and get loot, some eggs for the pet breeding mechanic that we talked about earlier, and you come back and you'll sell your stuff and maybe upgrade your town, upgrade your area. If you'll notice here, I've renamed this place to the player area. You'll have your own little area that you can build stuff into. And so that's the general idea. So today we're going to I went and made this an abstract map to where we can add different stuff to it. And we'll be using this to build our own, build the dungeon as well. So that we can go through, spawn some enemies in, spawn some traps, and get the loot. So that's the plan. Now, we're not going to do procedural generation just yet, because I don't want to get bogged down with that. I want to build the dungeons myself, see what the method is and the sort of what patterns I'm using for building the dungeons, and use that later on to do the procedural generation. Howdy beans. So let's go ahead and get started. I also went and merged the fence into the blocks. We'll probably have a separate tile set for the different dungeons. So like you'll have an exterior tile set where you'll have your walls and your cliffs and all that fun stuff, and then you'll go into the castle or underground basement style dungeon or whatever, and it'll have like brick walls and stuff. For now, I don't have any other art planned, and we're going to use these blocks that we've been using. So we'll use these to lay out our dungeon. And so what we're going to do is, just sort of plot out a dungeon, nothing too fancy, just sort of get the idea down for how we want gameplay to go. So for say example, we'll create like a spawning room, and we'll start our player here. And so when we know when we do procedural generation, we'll always want to start with a spawning room with some kind of exit, and then we'll build out different rooms that we can explore through. Depends on being that. So this is a new side project or a follow up for the other one. Depends on which one you mean. Like, did you talk about the first time I started live streaming? This is a different one. It's actually an older project, though. The one that I keep coming back to, that I would really like to implement now. I think I have an idea for what I really want now. And I've gotten a little bit of prototyping since then. So we're going to try to focus in on the prototyping. With the last one, I was running out of ideas for how to make it interesting. But with this one, I think I've got it. So yeah, new project. So yeah, well, I don't have any idea for how we're going to do dungeon layout right now. So right now it's just going to be some basic boxes for us to explore through. And we'll get an idea for like how wide, like we can already see the 3 wide paths look pretty good. We'll probably stick to like a mostly 3 wide paths. We could vary it up during the generation. We'll have to see how that goes. And yeah. Now me personally, I'm not a big fan of procedural generation. I think usually when I hear procedural generation in a game, I get bored with it already, because it's very rarely is it done really nice. And so I want to do procedural generation. For one, I want to give a stab at it. I want to learn about it. I've never done procedural generation before. I think it'll be interesting. And I don't know. I think if I try hard enough, I can, and put some actual effort into it, maybe we can make something interesting. So that's the whole plan. Like I want to see if I can make myself enjoy procedural generation if I do it properly. So it's more of a goal for me, just to see how good I can make this. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and get started making some layout. We're just the idea being sort of Stardew Valley style inspired, like maybe probably more of a layout than that. Like I want to have different floors to where you'll go into the mine or go into the dungeon, and you'll go down to typical floors and you'll hit checkpoints. And so as you hit the checkpoints, you can come back to it later instead of having to redo all that stuff. So it'll be like a sort of a roguelike, but not as hardcore. Like you'll be able to skip past progress, if that makes sense. Sort of just like a very like a roguelike light, I believe they call it, but itty bitty, just a little bit of a taste of it. So that's the idea. Because I'm not a big fan of roguelikes either. I don't like repetition in my games, and so I always, roguelikes get me there. So I want this to be interesting. I want you to always be making forward progress without having to do all that backtracking, but have a taste of the roguelike into it. So that's the general idea. We're not going to lay out anything fancy right now because my main focus right now is going to be getting some enemies going and some traps and some, just interesting stuff. Maybe a block and key system. Like throughout the dungeon floor, we'll place out some keys, and you have to use those to unlock different stuff. I want to get the mechanics going before I worry about the dungeon layout. But we still need to lay out the dungeon somehow. So we'll get a basic thing going out. Probably about 5 rooms just to see how it feels. They're going to be square rooms for now. Later on, I do not want to use square rooms at all. I want to, in fact, one of the ideas I'm toying with is maybe pre-generating some, let's do this for 2, see how that looks. Pre-generating some, I don't know, like either pre-generating some rooms, which I don't really want to do. If I do that, I want to have it to where it's dynamically decorated. And maybe, add like random walls and stuff to separate it out, to sort of make it unique while still having pre-generated feel to it. And another option would be to, since we're not going to use all squares, we're going to use different layouts. And then we use that, like we have a bare room layout, and we place those. So we could have like an L-shaped room, a pentagon-shaped room, whatever, the various different shapes, and then we piece that together. We could probably do that procedurally as well, so that would be something to look into. We may dabble into some procedural generation today because I am really interested in it. I've been watching some videos and articles on it here lately, and I would like to get into it. Just that, like, it's not a thing you want to do when prototyping your game, but I'm curious, so I want to do it. So I'd make a couple more rooms, and then plop our character down just to see how it feels. Now, when I'm thinking, when we do procedural generation, one of the styles I'm thinking of is we'll probably like generate a path like this right here, like a critical path, I believe it's called, where this is the path the player has to take to advance through the dungeon. And then once we get that settled out, let's do that one 2x2 as well. Once we get that settled out, we can add like side branching paths and stuff. I've got a Trello board here. Let's see if I can find it. And I closed it. Awesome. I'll pull this up right quick and show you some of the ideas I have here. So, pull my stuff back up. Alright, so here's some enemy types we have planned out. So I already have a few implemented. I implemented the basics of the enemies. So like things like the damaging the player, knockback, chasing the player, fleeing the player, basic stuff like that. Building blocks I've already implemented. And so I've already implemented 2 enemies, that being the chaser and the shooter. Chaser will it does contact damage, and it chases the player. Very simple. And then the shooter, it will. I did this in another stream previously, and this is the reason I've already done these, because I've already done these before. The shooter will approach the player, but will keep a distance, and if you get close, it will start backing up. That might get annoying, so it might be something we just have around just to see and I'll have to get other people to play it and see what they think about it. Wanderer is going to be very simple because I already have a patrol state as well, to where they just move around randomly. we can implement that into the Wanderer. The laser shooter, I think, will be interesting. It'll be like a regular shooter, except for the it'll be a constant laser. So it'll be like it'll target where the player is, glow up that area, and it's like get out of there, because then it shoots lasers. Fun stuff. I have the Stomper. It'll bounce around and then stomp and do AoE damage, which I think will be interesting. And yeah, you can read the list. And then we have some dungeon elements. I don't have many of these yet. I want to get more, but like some secret passages, lock and keys type stuff. Fun stuff. Loot chests we won't get around to for a while, because I don't plan on doing an inventory system for a while. And then shadows. Shadows is here because I have enemies. I have like a shadow stalker type enemy that hides in the shadows. And maybe we can turn that into a mechanic. And then here's a few of the traps. We're going to be implementing some of these traps and some of these enemies today, hopefully. And so I don't know which ones I'm going to do yet. Probably your basic pits, of course. That's very simple to do. Trigger spikes are simple to do. Flame trap would be interesting, I think. That would involve particles and area detection. Maybe we might be on a timer, probably. So I think that'll be interesting. Laser is the same concept, so like we can see how that works out. And hold on a second. Yeah, and we'll see what we'll get to. Spike to walls, very simple. We'll probably do that. Now, one thing I haven't implemented is I've got a damage area that handles the damage. So like, you got a sword, you swing a sword, that sword swipe has a damage area on it, and it uses that damage area to get information, like such as where to do the knockbacks, things like that. I don't have that implemented for what I'm going to do, which is like a tile tile map to handle the spikes. So, yeah, 1 second though. Alright. So let's get back to work. So we have our dungeon here. We'll keep it 4 rooms for here. We have, this will be our entrance, and this will be our exit. We're going to need some way to detect the players going in there. We'll probably extend this out, make a static body or something here, so that they can't walk past it. Maybe find some way to clip through it. So yeah, that we'll probably make another tile map for this. Here, and we'll just call this invisible collision. Let's see. One Lou says, "Hi, are you planning any pathfinding for the enemies?" I am. I'm making a top-down shooter, and I have some issues with getting a good behavior when chasing the player around it. I can show you that. It's actually pretty simple. It depends on what you call simple. It depends on what you're laying out. Like if you're doing like a grid layout like this, you can do A star pretty easily. So we will get into that eventually. Not for a while though. So unfortunately, because I want to get gameplay in the core gameplay out as quick as possible without getting bogged down. Because that was one of the things that got in my way for the other one. Is I started doing inventory system. I did pathfinding. Let me show you something. I'll show you what I have planned right now. Because I have some gift stuff saved up for the pathfinding that I plan to do. So you'll get a general idea for what we'll be doing. Here. So you see, let's bring this back. So it triggers the enemies. The actual enemies have an alert system so that if they'll tell each other about any nearby players that they detect, and they'll find the nearest target to them, stuff like that. This actually took me a while, but I've gotten to a point where I can do it pretty easily now, so it's not an issue. And there's even one I did. It might help you if you're not doing like a strict tile-based thing. Let me find it right quick. Where the enemy uses raycast to navigate through the world. It's not as precise as A star, but I mean it still has a really nice effect. So we'll cover that as well. which we'll be using to sort of aid the pathfinding. All right. Now, one thing we're going to need already, I can tell, is a spawning system. Well, let's go ahead and do this invisible collision first, because we don't want the player walking through things, of course. So it'll need a texture. I should have, let's use this. I'm supposed to have a white text. There it is. We'll use a white texture. Always handy to have for things like this. So we just snap that, give it a collision, and we're going to modulate it, because we're going to hide this on the level start, but it's for us to see, so we need to modulate it to something we can clearly see. It would be selected tile, modulate, let's make it red, but lose the alpha. Okay. And we'll turn this to a 32, and then we should be able to just fill these up, just as a precaution. And then we'll put, actually, we might even use these. I don't know how I want to do the entrance and exits. What could we do is, yeah, okay, I have an idea. We can have, instead of doing these as collisions, well, we will have collisions. We'll have two of these. Can't do two of these. We'll have to make a separate one for these, and we can have one be like an entrance and an exit, and when it detects it, it'll change the level. Yeah, we'll do that for now. We'll worry about the technicalities of this later. So for the name, first one, this will be exit. The reason I can't use another one is because you can only use one tile here, to my knowledge. We'll say, I think the other was exit. So we'll do entrance and exit. And what we'll do is when we detect the collision, which will be, let's see, I don't think tile maps can detect the collision. So we might have to do this on the player. Let me grab the player right quick. Well, I'm messing with stuff, it don't even matter right now. We'll do this later on today. Right now we need a spawning system. Which we're going to add, and I've done this on this abstract layer. Oh, good. I need to inherit from this first, because I'm doing this as an abstract level. Abstract level is going to have all this stuff to it, and then we inherit from it to have our different maps. One second. There. All right. So we'll have. We need to be on the abstract. We'll go ahead and save this. This will be areas. This will just be called dungeon area. All right, now on here we need, well, no, we're going to do it on a dungeon because, we'll do it here for now. Because we're going to need, we'll have different maps. So if this will be used for like town map and stuff like that, we'll need to have entrance and exit points. We're going to do this for just the dungeon one here right now, because no, I'm being silly. We'll do it. We'll go ahead and do it on the abstract map. Checkpoints. Well, spawn points, really. It's going to be similar to a checkpoint system, probably. All right. In which we'll need our own spawn points. We'll use position 2Ds so we can get a clear little thing. And a spawn point. So save here. All right, 1 second. This will have a script to it, so to have like an ID that we can use to find, because when we go through the spawning the player, we're going to search for the spawn point that we need. So we're going to need an ID system, because when we change levels, we'll pick which ID that we're supposed to spawn at, which I don't know how we're going to do for the dungeon yet. That'll be interesting to find out. So I have an export variable Part of me wants to use a string, but then again, well, what I would really like is for it to increment as we add them. Instead, we're going to have to increment them ourselves. I don't like that. The reason I want to increment it instead of doing it automatically in the script is because I could be like, when I'm placing these, I could be like, you get linked to this one. It'll be easier to do if I can set a specific ID. I'll tell you what, we'll do a string for now. Okay, we'll do a string. Ready. We'll assert that ID is not equal to an empty string. All right. I think that's going to be the main thing we need, because all we're going to do is we're going to find the one that we need, put the player on top of it. It's the general idea for that one. Okay. So for this one, we're going to hard do this instead of, of course, procedural, because we're not going to do that for a while. But yeah, add a spawn point there. So we'll add it there, and then we're going to need to spawn the player. This we're going to extend our apps. I'm doing this on the abstract level again. I am awesome. Okay, hold on. Let me find what the dungeon area is right here. I'm going to change one block, see if it'll let me keep this. We're going to go through and erase all that we did here, because we don't want it here. We want it on the other one. Nope. There. I'll get rid of this one. There. Oh, I'm going to get rid of this. Good. And we should be able to keep that. Perfect. But we lost the visible collision. I forgot to do that one. Be alright. Won't take but a second. Oh, here. Okay. Then we'll add our spawn point. Now that we're doing this proper. And we'll put it here. Then we can extend it so that we can do our own logic here. So here's where we're going to spawn the player at the start. And the reason we're doing that this way instead of the other ones is because they'll all be linked up. But when we, like say when you go from the player's place to the town, to the different areas, they'll tell you like specifically which one to go to. But this one is going to be like, go to the start. Pass go and you can collect $200. So, on the ready, I want to spawn the player. Now this will probably be an abstract, be pushed back to the proper one, but let's get enough here for now. So we'll spawn the player. Oops. We'll get our player scene. So that we know what to spawn player equals, and we'll instance it. Now, since this is a dungeon, like I said, we're going to find the entrance spawn point. Another thing we'll probably do is have like a checker to assert that. Well, no, we're going to be doing this procedurally, so it won't matter at that point. But we'll do it for now for us, because if we were to create this, we need to make sure we have a spawn and exit. And it's a good point. Actually, when you enter the dungeon to change the levels, we'll need to do. We'll need to pick the different spawn points. So that's something we'll have to do later. For now, we'll just put you at the entrance, because you will want you to be. You'll probably be able. I can imagine. Probably going to be able to go backwards. I haven't decided exactly for that yet, but we'll figure that out. So, spawn the player. We need to find checkpoint by ID. So what we're going to do is we're going to cache our checkpoints, or spawn points, and then we'll iterate through them. Oops. And if this completes, then we'll return null. Okay, so what this does is iterates through the children of the spawn point, finds the one with matching ID, return it. If the loop completes, then there we did not find the ID by that name. All right. Pardon me. So var spawn point equals. I added a point again. I'll learn eventually. There. Okay. I'm going to throw in an assert here, because this should never be null, ideally, but I guarantee you I'm going to forget to set some IDs. So we'll do that to make sure that we did it properly, and then we need to add the player. So we've already instanced it. In fact, we can put this down here and group it together. We've already instanced it. We need to move it. So player dot global position equals the spawn point global position. I have the, well, actually this is the map. Great. So I can just say entities, because I have in the abstract map, I have entities, which is where we're keeping all our stuff, which is Y sorted. So entities.add child player. I think that should be it. Wait. No, this needs to be 4. There we go. All right, spawn point, start. And we didn't have the set map yet, so we'll go ahead and set it here. There we go. All right, so that feels a little sluggish. We'll probably bump that up with the player speed, that is. All right, cool. So there's through the dungeon. Looks a little big. We'll have to see how it is when we start adding enemies and traps. Another thing we could do, we could pull out my Trello board, is doors that lock until enemy is cleared. Oh, good. There it is. All right. Okay. So now let's add some enemies here. We have the chaser, which is the one that pursues the player. I'll just plop a few down. They don't have any alert system, so you can trigger them just one at a time and kite them. Eventually they'll have an alert system though. Pop a few down. We'll see how it feels with the number. And then we have the shooter. Put him a little more in the back. Now, one thing I would like to implement eventually, not anytime soon, because I think it'll take a lot of planning, is, howdy, Shohan, is actual puzzle elements. In a way, like it's not going to be anything big because, you know, it's procedural generation. Once you've seen it all. But I think it'd still be nice to have some kind of puzzle elements. So it's just not going to be a dungeon crawler. But it'll be interesting to see how we can implement that. I'm going to add a floor here as well. Didn't think of that one, did I? Should have used the green. I still can. Hold on. So if we go... no. Here. Then go into our art. There. So now that should be green up there. Okay. Don't know how I want to handle the environment. The environment, probably darken it up. Yeah, that's the enemies. The enemies, the shooters will flee from you, which is going to look silly here because they flee into the wall. Eventually, probably today, I might look at getting them to change their direction based on the normal if they were to hit the wall. Okay. Now another thing we can do is we can mine these blocks. So we need to disable mining while we're in here, and only let you do it when in your area. But that's not important right now because I'm not going to use it to abuse any glitches or anything. But we will need to note. And I'll actually go ahead and add that note now. We have... Where are we doing this? On action. Okay. Alright, so let's take a look at that again. The room size actually seems alright. Oops. Not too bad for a room size, I don't think. Okay. And then we'll want to implement some traps probably. And some different types of enemies too. I don't want to go all ham on the different types of enemies, especially not when prototyping. I need to give the player more health as well. Because I want, prototyping, content doesn't equal fun. The core mechanics, like the least, if you can make it fun with as few things as possible, you've got a good game. So we want to have the bare minimum and still be fun. And that wasn't too bad. I think with maybe some traps that might be interesting. Some traps we have to dodge. So the first one, what we're going to do, let me look at my list again. Probably some pit traps, because that's pretty typical. I have already done pit traps before, though. Godot does have raycast. It has two types of raycast, in fact. Shohan asked. So you can do you can add your raycast node here, which will do it for you, all the legwork. once it's enabled, and you can just check it to see what it's colliding with, get information with it, or you can use the direct space states version, which I don't think I'm using here, but it's just calling the physics 2D's direct space state, passing in information, and it does the work for you. All right. Well, let's go ahead and look at that flame trap. I think that'll be interesting, and the dart trap as well. Dart trap, we could have it either trigger or periodically. Part of me wants to do trigger, but for the flame trap, have it periodic. We'll do both. We'll do each, like I said, and then see which one we like. We can always change it later because it's just should be pretty simple. Okay, we'll do a dart trap first to get us warmed up. So this will be, how do I want to do this? It's not going to be any kind of collider or anything. Okay, we'll have a node. And this node will have a sprite. And for prototyping, we have our shape drawer. And here. All right. Give it a nice red color so we can see it. That way I might confuse that with an enemy. Let's bring it down a little bit. Okay. Now, we're going to have it to where the position will snap with the wall. So we're going to line this up there. One more. Line that up, and then we just need a script. I already have a projectile too from the shooter, so we'll take a look at that. Projectile, which is just an abstract one. We have the enemy projectile here, which is what the shooter shoots out. Okay. For now, we'll probably just use this one. We can always make it unique with a dart later. So we'll stash it into a constant. Just call it dart, because we're guaranteed to change it later. And then we'll just preload the enemy projectile. We're going to, let's see, these are going to be trigger based. So we're going to add the best way to do this for now, we will we'll go ahead and do it here. We'll do it here. We'll add the trigger here, make the child editable, and then change it that way, not to be confused with edible. Do not eat children. There. We do not want to add a shape here. We're going to add a shape on ourselves, and then we'll connect this to the, let's call it dart trigger. JDH PS of VR, this is what you're doing. I am making a game. Pretty fancy stuff. It is, let's see, sort of a, if you've ever played Azure Dreams, sort of that combined with Stardew Valley. So you're going to go out into these dungeons, gather loot, gather items, gather eggs for pets to hatch, and then sell the stuff, you know, that kind of thing. Build your town up. Fun stuff. Okay. Then we can connect this. We want body entered. We're going to trigger it for any character. No. We'll do it for enemies now, because enemies don't know how to avoid it, so they're just going to be stepping all over it. So for now, we'll do it for only players. Trigger it. Okay. So we'll just have a shoot function. which this will call. Now this is gonna have a direction. So actually, and it's gonna be based on its rotation. So the sprite will actually need to line up here, so that when we rotate it, we can get the angle from the rotation. And so we'll say, we'll make a new instance of the Dart. Now in the Dart, it has a set direction with the rotation. Go back to our trap. So we can say, we'll add it first. So probably needs to be added to entities. I'm a little wary of that, but we'll do that. We need the map. So we have the map stashed. Whoops. So we can get the entities from there. We'll add the child Dart. Then we can set its position, global position. Oops. Dart.global position equals our global position. Set its direction to our rotation. Yes, Dart.set direction to our rotation. And it does the math for us already. And then we need to offset it a bit because the projectile is set up to destroy itself when it detects a wall. So we need to move it away from the wall. Otherwise it'll, yeah. And so we can offset its position by saying Dart.position plus equals polar to Cartesian, which is going to take in a length. We're doing 32 tiles. So we need to go at least 16 plus the width of the Dart. We're going to hard code that and say about 20, let's do 32, just to be safe. And then the rotation. That'll take it and offset it for us, hopefully. And that should be it. To make sure that it works, we're going to go ready, while true, we will shoot, then yield, tree, create timer for 1 second, and then wait for the timeout. Okay, cool. And then in the dungeon area, we'll add it to entities, sure. Dart trap. Okay. Let's see. Bump the layer up just a bit, just to make sure. Yeah, okay. Picks the stone. Good morning. It might not be the appropriate question for this specific tutorial, but how can I implement the multiple languages for the GUI? I'm not sure. I've never done that. Might have to do it programmatically. That sounds painful, though. And one thing you can do is have JSONs for the different languages that you want, and then load those in. But yeah, you'll probably have to do that programmatically. All right. So we've got our thing here. Let's brighten that up a bit since it blends in with the wall. Get it a good contrast and color. All right, see how this works. Tell you what. Let's do that. Okay. So there it is. Let's change the location. Let's go 16, see what it does. I have a feeling it won't work. Yeah. So then let's go with 24. Should be good if when we, yeah, we actually, okay, hold on. Okay. Var length. What we're going to do is we're going to get the shape. So dart, because it is a kind of kinematic body, we can say dart shape owner get shape 0 dot radius plus 16. Now, just to be sure, we'll say if dart dot get shape owner shape count, yeah, 0. I have a feeling that might still error. Maybe get owners. Get shape owners. Dot size is greater than 0. That'll still error if we haven't set a shape, but it'll be good enough. So yeah, it looks to be perfect with the wall. Okay. Now let's work on the trigger. So we have the trigger should be already implemented, to be honest. So let's get rid of this. And we'll say, so we have our dart trap. Well, actually, if we're rotating this, we can just add our shape here for now, at least, because we want to shoot in front of it. So there's really no point in being all fancy about it. Oh, that's not good. Why are you doing that? Probably because we're detecting the wrong thing. We want to mask for the friendly. It's also going to do it again, maybe. Yep. Okay. Okay, there's a bit of a lag when I do that, which is interesting. I wonder why. I bet it's because it's making... Oh, no, that wouldn't do that. See how many times it's running. It should only be running once. And it's interesting that you cause lag on that. Howdy, League of Gaming. Anyhow, it'll be good enough for now. We can come back to it later. Because that's very interesting. Wait. I wonder if it's this check. Get rid of this check. No. I wonder if it's the opposite then. Pardon me a minute, because this is, I don't know, it's pestering me. I don't understand why. Not that. Wait, hold on. Okay, so no issue there. I don't know, it's really weird. Whatever. Alright, so flame trap. Similar concept. The player don't have any kind of debuffs we have implemented yet. So if we set them on fire, there's nothing to like periodically take damage. Do I want to do that? Because we're not going. Yeah, right now we have a very loose health system. Tweaking that, we'd have to tweak that pretty heavily. We're still going to do it because it'll just be like really overpowered. For now, I probably won't have a burn thing for now. Okay. Let's get rid of these enemies. So, one sprite, shape drawer. Okay, now this is going to be periodically, so we're going to have a timer. No, we'll do it with an animation state, maybe. So what we're going to have an off state, a sort of a telegraph state, sort of let it player know that it's the thing's about to start shooting flames out, and then an actual shoot state. Okay. Something I'll be covering in the next tutorial that I do will be the animation state machine. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So we'll have an off, telegraph, and shoot. And then we'll link these up with an animation tree player. Or I think it's the animation tree player. No, that's always confuse those with the animation tree. Okay. Which I need a state machine, animation player, and that should be good for that. And then we want our animation. So we want to go ahead and add all these in. I'll link these up one to another. Oops. Oh, come on. We want these to auto advance as well. And what this do is going to cycle through the animations and sort of repeat through them. So if we come here, we'll set off to 1. We'll set it to 2, 3. Set it to 1 for testing. There we go. All right, so when we do this, we're going to have, so initially, what are we going to do? Let's do a particle. Make some quick particles, nothing fancy. There. All right. Let's see. want to turn off gravity. Give it some initial velocity. Reduce the spread, it's pretty big, which is here. Up the amount. What else could we do? Let's go with a box. And we'll go, let's see. Okay. And then we'll give it a bit of color. I didn't keep my color, so we'll have to do another one. Oh, good. There. And here as well. Okay. And we should be able to alter the hue a bit. Yeah. There we go. Anyhow, okay, so this will be on, it'll be off. And we're off, on when we're shooting. And then we're gonna, let's see, fire particles. And then we'll want another one. That'll be for telegraphing. It'll be off when we're shooting, on when we're telegraphing. And then this one, we'll shorten the lifespan. Nope, wrong one. There. Looks terrible, whatever. No. We just need something to see that it's telegraphing. This is by no means what we're actually going to do. So increase this a bit. I should be able to. I want to try to do a bit of randomization to it, hopefully, just to so it don't look so obvious. Whatever, should be good. So, okay. So let's try the animation tree. See how that works. Need to activate it. Okay. So with the shooting, let's say 3 seconds. Okay, let's bump this amount up. Okay. For the off, let's say 5 seconds. Telegraph, probably about half a second. Okay. I think that's all right. Let's put it in there and see what it looks like. Nope. Flame. Oh, I need to mark this as the start. Okay. Let's extend the reach, let's say 5 blocks. To do that, we don't want to change that, so we'll say, oops, say 2.5. Bump the speed up a little bit. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll have a damage area. With a collision shape. Alright, and then we'll disable this on and off based on whether or not we're shooting. So we'll shoot. We'll make sure it's on and off. Make sure it's on or disabled. There. All right. Cool. All right. So that's 2 down already. Not too bad. So we can mark those off. Let's see. Dart trap, flame trap. Oh, let's go and do some spike traps as well. Once we get that, we should be able to decorate that level a little bit. So this one will be a node 2D with the sprite. I don't have any spike traps. Let's see, let's go ahead and make one. Shouldn't take long. Let's go. No. Right, so oops. And then like copy. Okay. Ah. Yeah. Oh, okay. For this one, we'll have an animation player. What we could do, instead of modulating the color or anything, we could sort of tweak this a bit. No, I should. Okay, what we'll do. The idea being that we'll draw some little outlines here. Okay, so this is 4 pixels from the top, 4 pixels across. So 1, 2, 3. Yep. Howdy, Adam. I see you finally made one. There. Yay. All right. Okay. Just because I don't have a name for it, and then we'll say we'll do this completely through animation player. Should be able to. Yeah, that was right. And a collision. Okay. So we'll start off with it disabled. And the spikes down. We'll start it with the spikes retracted. Then, hold on. Yeah, spikes. There. Still not it's enabled yet. And then spikes. But with this enabled. Okay. Yeah, I'm used to more painterly style, where I just pick a nearby color and do it. Yeah. And then we want to retract here and disable. Well, we were already disabling, so that should be fun. Down. Whoops. Here. And we'll go ahead and disable. Alright. So, and then we'll loop. Let's give it more of a quick jab, so it seems a little more violent. Okay. Let's get rid of that, and we'll add in our spike trap that I apparently did not name. Now these will probably place using a tile map, and then instantiate them. Oh, we need to autoplay them. Okay. Okay, so there's no knockback because I didn't place knockback. I have that specified here. So we could say 500. Okay. The player has no immunity at the moment, which is something I should implement really soon. But just testing, it should be fun. Cool. Now let's see about making a hazard tile map. Oh no, what am I doing? Tile map. Okay. And what we should be able to do is instance these as we need them. So hold on. Oh, tile map, right. Need a new tile set. I can go through here and add in our trap. Okay. Okay, we'll add a script here, and we'll need the idea being here is that we'll iterate through the use tiles, find the scene that we need, and instances where we need it. Now this might take a bit. Noodle Sushi Dev, hello, howdy. Glad to see you here. So traps, we'll make a copy path. We need the path. There we go. So const hazard path equals there. Okay. Now, when we're ready, we want to iterate through our use cells for now for testing purposes. Let's print out which cell is. It should give us a position. I don't have anything yet. So in our dungeon area, get rid of these. You know what? It doesn't matter because we're going to be doing this procedurally generated eventually. So, yeah, I'm not going to go through the effort. Still, out of curiosity, let's see what it prints. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to bother. Another time, perhaps. I hope I didn't get any hopes up. But I was gonna use FormClake's method of spawning in entities where you set the thing. But since this is going to be procedural generated eventually, it's really not a concern. Okay, so back to this. Let's get some spike traps going. Now, let's see. Let's go ahead and add in our dart trap. One thing we didn't test was the rotation. We should test that. All right. Plus, we need to look at the. Okay. We need to look to why that causes lag, because that is weird. I'm going to actually make a new dart. I'm going to copy the projectile scene that we made it here. Because I want it to be faster. So we'll go back to our dart trap. It's a very close call. Why is that? It seemed a little faster. It's probably because I'm closer to it. Oh. Interesting. Why did I die there? Okay, so I guarantee it's making... That's weird. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Because I feel like it's spawning. It has to be spawning in more than it should be. Gregor says, got my hopes up for sure with they're using the tile map to spawn those traps. Know where I can find how to do that. I might take a look at it, Gregor. Just... Sorry, I didn't mean to get your hopes up, but we'll take a look at it here in a second. Form Clay, though. That's the guy to go to. He's the mastermind behind that technique. It's where I learned it from. It's in one of his Zelda topics. But give me 1 second and I will take a look. Okay, so it is spawning a whole bunch of them. Why? That's weird. Okay. Oh! The darts have trigger ended up... No? Hold on. Let's get rid of that. Tell you what. I'll tell you what. I want to add a cooldown. Oh, man. Oh, wait. Okay. Why does that? That is weird. That is weird. I'm going to restart Godot. Maybe it's being grumpy. Okay, so not being grumpy. Wait, what's this? Okay. All right. Okay, that would be it. I should probably look at that, but okay. That should do it. There. Okay, well, I'm not lagging, so that's interesting. But I'm still printing that a whole bunch of times. What are the odds that there's a bunch of players? Surely not. Why would there be? No, there's just one player. One player with one collision. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to the tile map thing. Okay, hazard. Print cell. So what we would do is we need to we have the cell position, if I'm correct. No, we need to add the thing first. So hazard tile there. Print the cell position. It should be cell position A10. We use that to get the cell ID. So var tile equals get cell v cell, and that should give us the tile ID. So, and then we take the tile set. What does tile set have? We need to get the name of the tile. Find tile by no. Tile get name. There we go. Oops. So name equals tile set get tile name. Nope. Tile get name tile, which we'll rename to ID. Right quick, let's just print the name to make sure we got it. Spike trap, good. Now you'll notice I named the hazard here Spike trap, and I've got the path here. So our path equals hazard path plus the name plus what? Yeah, plus .tscn. And if we print that, it'll give us the name to the thing or scene there. So then we say var trap equals load path. And then, let's see, and then we add it as a child. We're going to add it to, let's add it to entity, sure, why not? We'll need to lower it. Trap. Then we need to set its global position, which is cell times cell size plus cell size divided by 2.0. So that's it. Cells is the ID for where it is, like which cell it's in. So it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, but it increments by the cell size position. But that is the top left corner of the cell. We then add an additional half of a cell size to put it in the center. And so if we do that and then like we hide our cells, we should still see the trap. Oh, we need to wait. I guess. Spawn traps. Invalid type and function. Add child in base Y sort. What? Invalid type of Y sort. The object derived class of argument 1 is a load instance. Boom. So it just, and it's working, see? And so then we set cell v cell to -1. Boom, there it is. And in fact, you can probably delete yourself after. There you go. And then you just go here. There's that. So there you go. Trademarked foreign click. Good dude. All right. It's not trademarked, but whatever. Man, I don't think it is. Don't take my word for that. Hey, well, it's done. Might as well enjoy it. Oh, we have to do the other ones too, though. Now, the trouble with... Actually, that's... Okay, that's another thing we can look at then. Is handling rotation, because if you recall, our flame traps and dart traps are based on rotation. So let's say flame trap PNG. I think I did that name wrong. Yeah. There. Okay. So we go to our flame trap. Get rid of this. And add in the art. Okay. Oops. There. Gregor says, amazing. I've been looking for this for a while. Thanks a lot for explaining. You're welcome, bud. It's a pretty nifty little trick, if I say so. Okay. Abstract level, or data level. Let's get rid of these. Wait, what? Why is there a bunch? Oh, this is the answer I was looking for. I was starting to worry, man. Thought I was going crazy. Alright. Let's get rid of these damn things. Jeez. Okay. Silly things. Okay. Oh. This guy. It's interesting. I'll tell you what, just to keep it simple. I think it should be bigger, shouldn't it? Oops. Okay. So we should be able to like rotate these. However, when we do, it's not going to place them rotated. So it's our job to fix that. So let's go ahead and take a look. Should be simple though. Should be able to get the sprite's rotation. Now, what I want to do is do a check here. Oops. Okay. Wait, no. There. There's an error here. Failed loading the resource. We have to check to see if it exists. I don't think there's an easy way to do that. Then we'll ignore it. So long as I don't crash. Okay, so that should tell us. Alright. So now we need to go into here. Here. Flame trap. Okay, good. So there's our flame trap. We need to reset this guy. Okay. So our flame trap up there is not rotated properly because there. So what we should be able to do is look at the tile set and figure that out. So there should be a way to get the rotation. No, the rotation would be stored in the tile map, I would think. Is cell transposed? I don't know what that means. Turns truth gives so if the x and y were okay. Let's try something. Print is cell transposed cell dot x cell dot y, and then we'll play is cell x flipped. Oops. Need more than that. Okay, so flame trap. Okay, so that one's that one. So it is y value is swapped and it is x flipped. So we're going to have to figure this out ourselves, apparently. Let's get rid of these. And I'm guessing this will cut it when Tom just dropped by and to say, hi, this looks really cool. Well, thank you. True. Okay. Oh, that's confusing. I don't want to do that. Okay, we're not going to do that. That sounds awful. That is not a thing I want to handle. I don't think I do. Let me think about this. Oh, that sounds confusing. We could technically probably create a vector to a unit vector pointing to the right, and if x is flipped, flip to the left, if y is flipped, we invert the y. Well, we would have a vector of 1, 2. Now, if x is flipped, okay, what is what is this one again? This is transposed with x flipped. Now for us, that means 90-degree rotation. What is it the other way? Transposed and y is flipped. That would be negative 90-degree rotation. Let's do something to try maybe make this easier to read. Let's reset it. These should print in order. Let's say 0, 90, 180, -90. And so for I equals 0, we're doing some rigging here, so pardon me, but I'm a little curious. So order I, and then we'll iterate I. Make sure that prints in an order. Okay, so that's the order we want. All right, so let's take a look. Let's take a look. And the what I'm trying to do is recognize a pattern that we can use to figure this out. So if expose is true, then we know it's at least 90. Okay, so let's do this. We can at least fake like we know what we're doing. 3D CGFX says, can you add another raycast? Are you trying to aim raycast from different directions? I am not. What I'm trying to do is I have a tile map here where it allows me to place these tiles down in the tile map, and it goes through and it adds them as the entity. Like it goes through, it finds the file path, loads the file, instances it, places it, good stuff. But with my trap set up here, with this trap right here, I have it rotated, and the rotation is based on, like, it's where it shoots is based on its rotation. The tile map doesn't have that. What I'm trying to do is rotate it. Well, the tile map, currently we don't have it implemented. What I want to do is have the rotation from the tile and be the rotation for this. And so I'm using, they give us these is x transposed and is x and y flipped to determine whether or not how it's rotated. And I'm trying to rig it up so that we can figure out exactly how. And I think I have an idea. So if we, because there's a bit of a pattern here. We don't have to, we can just pretend like we know what we're doing. We can say, and the goal here is to print what the order is here. So we say bar angle equals 0. Okay, so this is, there is no rotation, nothing. So and at the end of it, we're going to print the angle. We're going to translate it degrees to rad to degrees for readability purposes, and we want to get the angle to match up this print line. So we'll notice that if if it's not transposed, then it's a horizontal one. So we can say Skepsis said we can just pretend like we know what we're doing. Too good. Thank you. We can say if not is cell transposed cell.x, cell.y, and we have our is cell x flipped cell.x, cell.y, then angle equals negative pi. Oh no, or just pi. Pi works. Nope. Yeah. Okay. That means it's the we flipped it horizontally. If it is transposed, though, let's just copy this. Then it's one of the vertical ones. So angle equals pi divided by 2.0. And then we need to check and see if it's been flipped, which we can do here with the y flipped. Oops. copy. So if it's been y flipped, then angle equals negative angle. Okay. Hey. Okay. So let's get rid of this. Get rid of this. Okay. Cool. Get rid of this and this. So we instance scene, edit, trap dot rotation equals angle. Look at it. It's glorious. Okay. Cool stuff. This will be interesting. I want to see if that works. I mean, it'll work, of course, but it'll be funny. Okay. Let's get rid of this guy. Now we need another trap because we want the dart trap. We'll make this guy a little orange. Terrible color. Okay. Make sure this works. Oh, okay. Cool. So there you go. Oh, did he take damage from the spike? Yay. Okay, cool. Yeah, there was I work a lot from my laptop. Sometimes, well, not a lot. Sometimes I work from my laptop, screen sharing, like my desktop, and my laptop. I haven't fiddled the keys yet to where the F3, it still does the weird flipped function keys, and so it's from my laptop. It's more easier to do that, and then I don't use my laptop anymore. Like this was a while ago, and then I'm still in the habit of that. So yeah, pardon that. Pierce is telling me I could use the F3 instead. Now, the issue with the traps is that they're all synced together now. We can't do patterns with them. This won't be an issue in the final game though, because we're gonna, like I said, procedural generation, we can do it that way. But they all trigger at the same time now. We could theoretically we could create another tile map to have it has various tiles on it to where we could set the offset delay. That could be interesting, but not worth the effort. Okay. Boop. Alright. Cool. What to do? Let's look at... We got some traps. Let's look at building some levels, or seeing how it all works out together. So what I want to do is I don't want to see this detection area. And then there's a shooter. I tell you what though, I will, now that you mention it, I will try to get into the habit of doing that again. Okay. Because it is like a really good habit that I used to be into, but hey. Okay. So we can do this with enemies too. Do we want to do, let's do a different one. It'll be easier that way. So, just make a new timeout. Since we have the logic imp now, it shouldn't take but a second to implement. We need enemy sprites as well. We tried this already. Well, we'll do it and then scale it up. So, Chaser will get a good red color because he is aggressive. I don't want it to be too red though because I have a flashing red thing and it's based on modulation, so it's hard to see. And then we'll scale this guy up. So 32. So Chaser PNG. We'll just change this guy's color to a little more yellowish. To shooter.png. Okay. So pretty much just still this. And maybe path. Okay, and we don't need this because we're not going to rotate the enemies. I think that should be good. Okay. Okay, let's give it a try. Okay, so that was challenging. bring this down a little bit. Okay, cool. Let's get rid of all these now. Now I can build the levels easier. Okay. That should be pretty good. Let me think. I want to do a health bar right quick, because there's no way to see my health. Okay. Okay, and then we just add a script here. Equals overbar set max health value equals value. We're just going to set this directly. We're not going to do anything fancy because I don't need to impress myself. I just need to see what my health is. Oops. Let's see. Vasquez is what's better, Pixel Edit or Sprite? I haven't used a lot of Pixel Edit, and I've used a lot of Sprite. So, I mean, better is a subjective term. It's use what what's good for you. I don't remember much about Pixel Edit though. I haven't used it a whole lot. I picked up Sprite and it's been pretty nice. Pierre says, I see you are focused on 2D games. I'm not sure if I missed why. Any future 3D projects in your mind? Or isometric game before 3D? Just curious. I have dabbled in 3D. On my Twitter, I posted quickly about it. Actually, I think might still be my pinned tweet. I've never worked in 3D before. And other than interest and intrigue, I have no real interest in it because I prefer 2D games. I prefer playing 2D games. I prefer making 2D games. 3D games are just I don't really fall in love with the aesthetic of it, but I do fall in love with the idea, like the knowledge that is potentially there. So I would like to do 3D just to learn, if that makes sense. And I do plan on doing a 3D tutorial eventually. But yeah, most of my planned dev career will probably be in 2D. That said, there is a 3D game that I've always wanted to make, which is like it's nothing new or fancy or exciting, but like sort of like a space exploration economic simulator where you go to ports and buy stuff, sell stuff, capture bandits, that kind of thing. Or take on spaceship pirates, become a pirate, that kind of thing. But that sounds like a lot of work. It would probably take a really long time to make, and I'd rather be making platformers and top-down ARPGs and stuff. But yeah, I prefer 2D games. That's why I do a lot of 2D stuff. But Godot has a severe lack of 3D tutorials, and I feel like I should probably fill in some of that, because I don't know, it needs it. There are a lot of people that are wanting to do 3D, but there's just a really lack of tutorials on it, especially tutorials that are to the point, like the crash course style tutorials that I tend to do. Okay, so status bar, player. Okay. Now I should have an health updated, yeah. Oops. No, I should have edited that, whatever. Okay, so that should work. And then we need to set the maximum health. For now, we're not changing the max health. It will over time, but until then, we could just say health bar dot set max health. There. Oh, wait. Oh, that should be working. Let's see. Make sure this is being called. Okay, it's not. Character, set health. Okay, so it should be. Why do you not work? Disconnect this again. Oh, good. I don't understand why that's not triggering. Okay, so apparently I'm setting the method wrong. I don't know why. Wait, no, that's still. Yeah. Data health. There's a signal thing there now. Okay, so now it works. Perfect. Okay. We want to give the player more help though. I just left at the default. So let's see. What would be a good health value? 8. One thing we could do. Why do you only trigger once? Oh, look. Hold on a second. Oh, someone forgot something. Let's go with 0.4. No. That enemy looked like it was under the trap. Oops. Yeah. So I think I need to lower their Z layer. Spike trap, which is not there. I should fix that. Okay. So now we have the basics. Let's see about piecing together a dungeon and making this interesting, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Okay. Another thing we could implement probably soon would be chests, because we're going to want loot. Well, no, like I said, I'm not going to do inventory for a while, so there's not really much of a point. Okay. Something we could also do with these flame traps is these is going to extend past the wall. We could do a ray cast out to detect for a wall and alter the what would we want to alter? The lifetime to take that into consideration, since we should be able to do it based on math. Be like, you travel this fast and you have this much given, and that there's this much distance, then you should live this long. I think that should work. It'll mess with our... No, it should be fine. It should be fine. I was going to say it would mess with our... the scaling and the color ramp that we've got, but it should take that into consideration. Okay. Yeah, that's not good. Let's get rid of these. Try and figure out how far we want to push that. Magma floor. Magma floor could be cool. Yeah, we'll do that next. Okay. Oh, this could be an asshole thing to do. This was a bit much. Let's get rid of these. Another thing we could do is add some decorations for the fire traps, like set the ground, have some scorch marks wherever it is. Should be easy to do best. Ooh, thought I could make it. Ooh, that was a close one. Maybe too close. Let's see. Maybe a little too close. We could come up here and then there. Tell you what, let's lean into that. Oops. Okay. Let's try it this way. Oh, that's not gonna work. Oh, that's something I'll have to consider. Oh, that's right. Well, the immunity will take care of that itself. Like I said, I'm not going to implement that right now. Okay. Okay, so not too bad. Let's do the magma floor then. That'll be interesting. Because I want that to be a tile map. Okay. Let's make a quick tile map. Okay. Let's see, race. Next glimpse, did you put the spike trap scene into a tile map? I did. Well, I put the, not the scene itself, but the texture for the spike trap. And so I can place it, and then it goes through all the tiles that I've used and places tiles there. Good eye. Thank you kindly, Derek. Okay. Thank you kindly. All right. We don't need too much. Just something to let us know that it's a tile, and we don't even need that. I think that'll do good enough. So then we'll save in our art hazard lava to tile. Yeah, let's go. PG. Okay. Turn the middle white and black. It's on. And then we'll go through here. And generate that. And we'll add, this will be, we'll rename this. It's going to throw off everything if I do that. We'll skip that for now. Oh, I see that. Okay. That's 3. You have quite the eye. Okay. And then we'll go through, but we'll have to regenerate that. Okay. We'll add in, duplicate this. This is actually going to be the hazard. That's just going to be the trap. But if I rename it, it's going to erase everything over there. Hazards. Okay. New tile set. Okay, do collision. Tile set demo version is on my favorite. Let me quick assets for platform games we're checking. Yeah, I should check it out. I've got this little thing though, which is pretty handy. It's the one I actually wrote myself. We'll have to do all these, aren't we? Because it's going to be passable. Now, currently, the damage areas do not have over time damage. It's based on when you enter it, so I'll have to fix that as well. I need to write my thing to do this manually or automatically as well. Well, yeah. I am, and it's painful. The reason is because it's going to be it's going to be instant kill, isn't it? We don't need all the collision then. Oh well, we got it now. Sohan says, in Unity you can instantiate an object, make it across the script, makes it access the script of another object as it does in Godot, like this game component. Script of other objects. You mean like this? I think that's what you mean. Yeah, I don't like Pierre says I don't like having to do all the top clicks. You think that's bad, but look at this. This was this was the most painful thing I've ever done in my life. Because I had to, oh wait, hold on, snap size here. I had to go through here and with a polygon and do these right here, each and every one of them. Oh, it was not fun. Okay, actually, hazards back to there. Back to the scrub work. Almost done. Oops. Wrong. Oh, fun. Nope. Okay. Oh, okay. So, Sean said when it's instantiated, you want to take the position of the player. The way that I do that, and it's not the best way, is I have a singleton. I have a singleton called globals that holds the player. And then the player says, hey, it's me. So, but this will only work with a single player. So that's how I access the player from anywhere in the script. Another way you could do that is to add it to a group. Called players. And then you can say in the tree, and anywhere in the tree, you can say get tree.getNodes and group players, and you'll have an array for all the players. All right, back to, I think we did the collision now, so we should be. Okay, we just need to do the bit mask now, which is it's about 3 minimum. Let's see. Yeah. This one, I think it's this way. Oops. And then this way. Okay. And then the icon. Okay. So we'll say, let's place it nearby so we can test it. Cool. You're welcome, Sean. Okay, so we have the collision, we have everything. Good. We have our hitbox. Now, we need hazard collision. It needs to be on the here. And then we need the hitbox to detect it. Now that will be a body, so we have to add in our body signal. Let's try this. So if we print let's print all of that. Oh, where'd you go? Oh, wait. Get rid of that. Okay. All right, so let's look. 164, that would be this. 2, 0. 0, 0, 1, 0. Okay. Now that will be based on region, I'm sure. Yeah. So that's not going to be useful to us. That was... What is that last one? It's always 0, from what I can tell. Oh, I bet that's the, how many shapes are on it. Okay. So let's look. Let's think. Wait, what? Oh, okay. I connected it to the player, this one. Let's get rid of this. Okay. What I need is I need to get the shape itself because we're going to be using different ones here. Like say we could be using this tile for the same for lava for pits like pits that don't kill you instantly kind of thing. So we need a way to detect which shape we collided with. Body shape returns the shape, but it's based on the region that it's in. And I don't know how to get it, the region one, because tile maps are broken up into quadrants here. So you'll notice if I was to turn this to 1, all of these would read 0 because they're all inside their own quadrants. Now likewise, if I was to turn this up to 256, 128, apparently the max, then all of these will show, probably this one down here too, would probably be 4. Yeah. So the shape ID is based on which region it is, which quadrant it's in. So let's go back to our hitbox and do some brainstorming. If body is tile map, if there's a way for us to get the quadrant, like we can find out what quadrant we're in, probably. Wait, hold on. I have an idea. Okay, I have an idea. Let's say let's do a space state. Specifically intersect shape. Because we can get the metadata here, which should tell us what we need to know. Okay, so we'll say space state. We need a query. No. It needs a shape, which would be we're a tower and area. Areas should be physics bodies or collision bodies. So we should be able to say shape owners get shape 0, 0. Query dot transform equals global transform, and then query dot collision layer equals collision mask. Space state dot intersect shape query. Let's just do 8, and we'll say for results if results dot collider equals the body, then we should be able to print results dot, let's see, body dot tile set dot get, wait, let's go for id equals result dot body dot get cell v results dot metadata. I can't. Let's print metadata first. I can't remember exactly what this is. If it's the self, that was spelled wrong. Did that not work? Why would you not work? What we're going to do is draw it rect. So we see where this is at. Wait, this would be based on the collision, so we need to say would this work? We'll see. Yeah, it looks like it's fun. This is curious. doubt it's this, but let's see. Oh, was that actually it? Tell me that wasn't it. Why would that be it? I don't know. I do not know. Okay. So the metadata, that seemed to be the tile position. So we should be able to say var ID equals result metadata. No, body dot get cell v metadata. And with that we can say let's make a constant up here. Lava equals 0. And if ID should be 0. Yeah. If ID equals 0, whoops. ID equals lava, then dot kill. I think the method is kill. Dead. Okay. Dead. Or died. No, not entity. Get parent. Assuming the parent is a character. Okay. Whew. Now, if we didn't go and say, make another one, eventually it'll be like a tile set as well, but I do not feel like doing that again, and there's no way of duplicating that I'm aware of. Oh, hey, what is this? Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. Let me just back up my get here. Get there we go. What is this? Create from scene. Let's reroute all current times. Okay. Merge from scene. Okay. Wait, what did you just do? If this does what I think it does, this would be amazing. I do not. I don't know. I feel kind of heartbroken now. I don't know what this does. It would be really cool though if we could merge other tiles from this. Like be like merge from scene this one. Give me all them tiles. That would be really cool. Or, you know, like an option to duplicate. Maybe one day. Okay. Take it easy, 3DC. Okay. Pits. We're going to do pits. Let's do an A spot. 32 by 32. Like I said, eventually that'll be another tile. I just do not feel like doing that again. Oh, that's something we could do. Instead of using an ID, we can get the name and say, is it lava, is it pit? I think I might do that. Okay. Okay, let's do this one right here. Now with this character, we're going to have a method called on pitfall. And we'll just say undied. Probably change up the animation for the enemies. This will be mainly for the when the enemies fall, but our player is a little special because he's going to respawn outside of the pit. I think I didn't do the one thing. So we're gonna override it so that when the player doesn't die, he respawns on the pitfall. Which what we'll do is we'll keep a record of the his position whenever he's not in a pit, and then reset it that way. So then let's see here. Okay, so we should be good to go. Do all that in the hitbox. Equals body dot tile set dot tile get name ID. We'll have another one later. We'll change this up to be like on lava or whatever, because we want to play a different animation for Lava Dead. Or we'll pass in what death state was in one of the damage methods. Okay, make sure I did this. Okay. So with the player, I want to implement this. For now, the player should be able to pass through it. And you're... what? That's interesting. I do not... what? There's not even a script on you. How would you possibly get removed? Phew. I don't trust how that's saving. What? You're a funny one. Wow, there's some weird stuff going on here. Everything but the lava gets removed. That's really weird. Potentially. And all that guy. I bet the tile map is being funny. It just forgot all that information. Well, not all of it, but a lot of that information. Yeah, it looks like a bug. What am I looking for? Tile. Where's tile? Where's my... Where's my bitmap options? There it is. I think I like it's the other way around. Let me look at this one. Yeah. Interesting that it forgot those collisions. As if like it broke. That is exactly where. Remember, if you were here, when I went to place the collision earlier, I placed a polygon and the engine crashed and loaded back up, and that is exactly the tile where it stopped off, or it just didn't save the data. That's interesting. Well, but it saved the other data that was added recently, just not this one. Might have been some corruption going on here. Okay. Icon here. So that should do that. Oh, right, because we got this script on here still. Okay. Hey, there we go. Okay. So now that's collision. We have to get rid of that collision because it's not a collidable. In fact, let's get rid of this. It should be these two, I think. Yep. Okay. Okay. We got some funny business going on here. Oh, maybe. Oh, no, we don't. We gotta set it here. There. All right. Take 3. And it still has the script. That might have been the issue the last time. Maybe? No. I don't think so. Hey, there it goes. Okay, I'm not dead. You're supposed to be dead. Close all of these. All right. Lava. Pit spikes, we can probably get rid of those. Okay, let's do this again. Not dead. Well, I specifically remember changing you. Yeah. Hey, there we go. Whew. So the player on Pitfall. We need to keep a record of positions when we're not falling into the pit. And when we're not falling into a pit, we're in a safe position. Which will update every time we move. Which is being applied in the character script. So what we're going to do is override it, but call our parent and then before we do that, let's see, we'll add in an area. Probably just bodies. Give it a collision shape with a circle probably. And if we'll stash it as well. This is called safe area equals safe area. Overlapping bodies dot size 0. Then our safe position equals our global position. And so when we fall into a pit, we will take damage. 1. With no knockback and no source. And then we will set our global position to our safe position. Okay. And then we want to, we don't need to print that anymore. All right. And then we want to I don't even know if we have much of a state machine going here. Yeah, we're not really doing it using it for anything. We'll do it manually for now. We're gonna lock our controls. control input lock. We'll call it input lock. One shot 0.8. And we'll say we'll cache it as well. Dot start. Yeah. Oh, and then we'll say when we're handling our movement, no, not here. So we might need to do this ourselves, and so we'll say velocity equals move and slide velocity if input lock is stopped, else we want to use vector 2.0. We might, pardon that, we might want to instead do it like here, update our velocity. Yeah, let's do that. Let's break out off into another line. Desired velocity, so that it's easier to read. Okay, so that should lock our movement so that we can't move if that timer is active. And it is a one shot. Yeah. Oh, that is really fast. Hold on. Why are you so fast? Hold on, let's get this. Because, let's get rid of that. Okay. Maybe we should set it instantly. Let's try it and see what happens. Wait. No. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's reduce that time just a little bit. Another thing I'm going to do right quick, trap, dart trap. Expand this a little bit. Okay. And then that makes them more dangerous. So we need to compensate a little bit. We could lower this. Well, let's not. Let's turn it down a little bit. What was it? 1624. See what that does. Okay. Yeah. Let's take it back down then. Basically, we only want it to hit the player when they stop, if they stop on front of it. Like that right there. They shouldn't get hit. So it's probably moving too fast then. That's a little better. Why do you quit attacking there? I'll have to look at that. That's a UI thing, I guarantee it. That's not from too far, it's from the HUD being in the way. Okay, so take that off. Alright, so there's that. I'll have to, like I said, need to implement immunity. And it's not too bad. It's I think that's where I'm going to end the stream. So y'all take it easy. I appreciate y'all for stopping by.